said, someone needs to own this. And he looked at me and he said, well, then you do. And I'm thinking, I said, I don't. And how I ended up getting the Y2K job is we were having a staff meeting, my whole team, and Steve Ballmer, who was the executive vice president of sales at the time, my boss's boss, came and presented. And I raised my hand and I asked one, and I said, Steve, I said, Northwest customers, some of the ones I just mentioned to you, Northwest customers are anxious and worried about Y2K. I said, I said, who owns that? And he goes, well, you sent me a mail. And I had like 3 weeks before that he didn't answer. I go, who owns it? I said, someone needs to own it. And I said it kind of in well, the voice maybe you just heard. I said, someone needs to own this. And he looked at me and he said, well, then you do. And I'm thinking, I said, I don't. I'm the GM of sales. And he looks at me and he goes, not anymore. And so that's how I ended up getting Y2K. It was a tough customer problem. He recognized it, and it needed someone to coordinate broadly across the company, set the strategy, decide on what we would service and what we would not, talk to governments, right? And, essentially that's how I got that job.